Okay, so first candidate for today is a candidate for treasurer. We have one candidate, and this is Adan de la Cruz. So for treasurer, I'll just, share with you guys a few of the responsibilities that the treasurer would handle in this 2-year term. The treasurer would be responsible for all matters regarding chapter finances. They would oversee the disbursement of authorized funds. They would manage banking, accounting of our funds, and they would pretty much be involved in anything regarding our budgets, etc. Right? So the treasurer is the one that handles all of this and discusses with the executive board, anything related to our finances. So with that, I'll give it up for Adan to share with us, why you should vote for him.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. After listing all those responsibilities, I'm like, maybe I should, get a little cold, what's it called? Cold feet? What's the expression? About to say, never mind. No, but I'm kidding. So, so thank you as well. As Anna mentioned, there was a nomination period. So, I was quite surprised and honored to find out that I had been nominated by multiple individuals for this position. SHIP has a special place in my heart. I've been in it for quite some time now. I'm going on 11 years. It's moving along, and I've been involved with it in various ways. And I think, when SHIP LA started, I didn't do too much at first. I was just a member. Then I decided to be join one of them, be a director. And now, I think it's very much the board that's constantly pushing me and kind of also helping me see what's more in me, right? And so that's another one of those nice things that Jesse touched upon. And so after discussing with them, I said, you know what, I will take this challenge on and accept this nomination. There have been some incredible people in these positions, that have left the chapter in a very well financial state at the moment. And so I do feel I have some rather big shoes to fill to make sure that we continue on that path and continue growing successfully on the financial side as well. So from my side, there's not too much to say besides, promise that, I'll do my best to not, sink the boat to keep us going and to help everybody make the smart financial decisions and to make sure that we also stay in good standing, that we file our paperwork on time and all that good stuff that it takes to operate an organization. So it's pretty brief and short. I don't know if anyone has any questions for me.
Hey, Adan, this is Amado. First of all, thank you so much for stepping up to the role. I think this is an excellent role, and it would be a good match. I'm really, really proud of you for taking this on. I have a question, and I know this is coming from me, so don't be overwhelmed. This is not a right or wrong answer. It's not. I don't have a hidden agenda with where I'm coming from this. Just really want to get to know your aspirations. What are your goals or your plans or ideas for you in this role as treasurer?
Yeah, no, definitely not a hard-hitting question here, Amado. So I want to say, to be honest, so to a large extent, I don't know. So, I've heard some discussions of where the board is at the moment, so the future directions of how we want to handle our accounts. I know there's been some discussion of our splitting out to be able to better allocate resources and better keep track of our fundings and such. So one would be to continue that. I wouldn't want to come in as a treasurer and be like, you know what, forget anything that was done before. We're going down this whole new path, right? So it's continuing the work that's been there, making sure that it comes to fruition. But also then it's whatever, in my opinion, it's whatever accounts or budgets we have and cash flows and such, make sure that when my term is done and I would whether I go for another term again or decide to hand over the baton to someone at that point, to make sure that we're in a better stand than we are now. I think at least this comes a lot for me from when I was an undergrad. So in those ship chapters, it was kind of an unwritten rule that every treasurer that left had to leave an additional 5K in our account. And those treasurers were successful for multiple years in a row. So we had it was getting like nice and fat, the bank account, I suppose, which allowed us to put an even better event year over year. So similarly, that'd be my best aspiration, that in 2 years I leave us in a significantly better state and we're able to do a lot more with our fundings.
Thank you, Adan. Considering you were hesitant at the beginning, you have some great ideas, and I certainly like that idea. My wheels are already turning on how we are going to be implementing that for your term. If you do
Can I take elections.
It back? No, not at all. And I think we can even increase the dollar amount as well. So congratulations in advance.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? It's like, yes,
I have a question. I have a question, if I may. This pandemic represented a situation, right, where some of our expenses, operating expenses of the chapter went down quite a bit, right? And in some ways that opened itself to opportunities, but I know at the beginning, before this meeting, we were unofficially having a conversation about this new normal that we're coming back, right? And also the need for us to come back to an in-person setting. Is there, with it, I know that we're trying to define what the new normal is, but do you feel like there's other different opportunities that we could go after for fundraising for the chapter, other than the more traditional sponsorship from companies?
Yeah. So yes. The short answer would be yes. I do think there's others out there, and it just depends on what avenues we want to explore. I think one of the great things, there's always silver linings and everything, right? And so we've seen a lot of new platforms being developed for digital events and such. And so I think, from my perspective, at least from a financial standpoint, it makes sense if when we do eventually go back to a new normal and we're able to meet in person, even then we're able to have that flexibility of like hybrid options, right? So we, that's one thing. We can book smaller venues that are incur less cost. And then also give our hybrid approach, so others may see us virtually and still be there with us. There's also, of course, the opportunity of having exclusive events, and we're also virtually, that will help generate in some more cash flow. So it's kind of in the moment. I can't give you any hard specifics right now, but I do think that the additional tools, and particularly the emphasis of hybrid models and embracing those and continuing with those, I think, is one thing that gives a lot of opportunities right now.
Thank you, Adan.
Anyone else? All right. Well, in that case, thank you all for your time. Thanks for the questions.
Thank you, Adan.